Okay, before we start talking, we need to prepare the breakpoints for everyone, because there are really a lot of breakpoints here, since it's very long. Well, here we find our ability. We can do it this way for convenience. Our game common desk is here. Let's set a breakpoint here. Let's not add the respawn logic for now. We'll cover the respawn logic later. Okay, now let's trigger this death. Okay. Then you can see here, a lot of breakpoints appear here. Let's continue going down. Right here, like in this ability, it already activated. Right. Then it continues going down. And here is game kill. We don't care about game kill. This wait delay, this is equivalent to this ability coming in. And then it came in again here, because maybe the client also has it. Right. Because the client also needs to activate it. Right. Okay. You can see. Then about 5 seconds later, it dies. So here, where did it come in from? We should be able to see we are here. Set a breakpoint here. Right here. It is actually here. Then, as for this place, we also need to set a breakpoint earlier. We need to go back to the very beginning to modify the properties. This place, we are here on health. And then our IRP. This should be at on our pulse. It should be here. Then on game ability, we also need to set a breakpoint. Okay. We will activate this ability. Just hit it with this under ability. Okay, to avoid problems here, we'll only open one. Only open one, because if there are too many, there will be too many breakpoints. Then here, find our character. This class should be here. Let's drag one in. Drag one in. Okay. Next, let's activate this. See, this is it. It is equivalent to an NPC in the scene. It also has this death event. Okay, then you can see here. First, Attribus is activated. This part must be on the server. Only then will the data be modified. Good. Entering here. This server code. The server is equivalent to sending this event. Right, let's continue going down. Then here we enter this active ability. Let's continue going down. So this is the client side. The client has also entered. Then the client. Let's take a look. See, it just jumps over here. It's gone. Because this is not a serial code, so it won't be sent over. Okay, this part is completely finished, right? So then it becomes undefined here, which means the ability ends because our delay time has expired. Then we go and finish this. After under ability, it will actually go to this position. It will go here. This means it is complete. After under ability, where will it go? It will actually go here because you under ability. After Fellish Death, it will trigger. We can see inside Fellish Death, it will trigger Undest Fellish. The Undest Fellish event, it will actually be in our character's accumulation. Go bind this. Let me check inside the character accumulation. We will bind this at the beginning. You can see that is when death starts. Let's see where this is bound. Here, that is when undeath started. It will turn off the collision route. When undeath Fellish, it will trigger this destroy. Due to the evolution of death through a moment, we can put breakpoints here for everyone. This way it's clearer for everyone. Then here, when destroy, then it will trigger this K2 event in blueprint. This event. Then here, at this point, it will finally set a lifetime of 0.1 seconds here. Let's set a breakpoint to check it. Let's end it first. Okay, we are about to enter this lifecycle check. Okay, this is on the server side. I'll update. You can see it has entered here. This proves it is the server. Then the ability is activated here. Right, then the death begins here. You can take a look at this death start sequence. It actually goes through this. you might not be able to see the sequence here because it's a U function. So viewing the sequence here might be a bit inconvenient. Anyway, this is where the death begins. Its activation is through this common part, because when it receives the death state here, it will start dice here. Start dice means it will trigger the death start here. When death begins, it will come to the death start on our character. Then, after the death start on the character, it can remove all these messy collision things. After all the removal is done, then next, our client receives it. After the client receives it, it will. At this point, it will not send. It also enters the death start phase. Let's wait a little longer. Okay, so we'll wait for this character roughly. AKRP flew a bit too far. G's flying force seems a bit off. Here, let's undo it. And then this part is where the ability ends. So this is the completion capability. So this place will be modified. The matrix on the life component. Then we, in this place, it is because of this DES time. Handle it here. Then we, in this place, essentially just destroy it. Because on the server, we only set the life cycle. After setting the life cycle here, this character class will disappear on its own. That's roughly the process. Okay, so we'll stop here for this part. Now, let's move on to the next part. Add a respawn logic. Because now your player is dead. Right. So for this respawn logic, we can just write it on the game ability. Let's go to our dance ability here. Okay. We'll just write it here. Because we only trigger events on the server, so this will only be received on the server. So here, then here, we set a timer. We set a timer. Put the time here. And as for this time, let's give it 1.5 seconds. After 1.5 seconds, we'll let it respawn. Then we write a practice customer event. This time shouldn't be too long, because if it's too long, there might be issues. It's possible that this opportunity will disappear. Maybe this time, it's best not to exceed the latter time. Yes, you should try to trigger it during this unability period. Then we take this target. Earlier we got this. It can be called the death object. We cast it. Cast to our character base. We can convert it to our initial character class. Okay. After the initial character class, we need to continue converting it. That is, at this point, we also need to get the game mode, because we only get the game mode on the server. So it must be on the server for us to respawn this player. So here, these two conditions must be true simultaneously. If both are true, then we get its controller. We cannot use this here. Using this will keep it crashing, because here, long or line, because you might be an AI. Then what you get is the AI controller. You convert it this way, it won't give you a null, it will crash directly here. So here we can just give it the controller directly. Okay, so here it could be an AI controller. That is entirely possible. In that case, we convert it to our player controller. Convert it to our controller if successful. Prove that this character is. It was previously controlled by the player. Then we set this controller as a variable. After this variable, we first let it on process release the current thing. Impossitrice, after releasing, then here, let's take a look. We also need to set this target. Its owner. Set its owner. Right here. Because we might still have some RPC stuff. We need to use this channel to send it. If you release it here, it may not be associated with this RPC. If it is not associated, there might be some issue. I need to avoid losing this RPC channel. We must ensure that this owner is still, that is, although it will not be processed, its owner is still our player controller. Okay, then at the end we get our game mode. We can just restart it directly. Good. Here it restarted once. Let me check. Or we could just use his player state directly. Get player state because it seems better to use player state, conceptually speaking, because it no longer belongs to this controller, but it is part of this player state. And here, we should just restart this controller. Here. Okay. So this way, we can achieve respawning after 1.5 seconds. Then after 5 seconds, we will end this ability. Then after the 0.8 seconds, after 0.8 seconds, right here, then 10 or seconds. After sinus h 0.8 seconds, let's activate this and play around. Okay, then let's test it now. There might be some breakpoints here. Let's open 2 players. Okay, let's finish this first. Okay, then let's remove all these breakpoints one by one. I believe everyone should have a basic understanding of these classes. How they use this logic to implement the interaction approach. Everyone should have a relatively clear feeling of this now. Okay, you can see that our player here has successfully respawned, right? We also remove this death breakpoint. Okay, then we use another player to kill this player. Let's try it. And this one should be this player. Okay, you can see that we have already, in fact, we can already do simple Overwatch PvP style games without any problem. Because next we will guide everyone to do more richer and more interesting skills. Because we actually have a problem here, because our damage detection, it is actually on the first frames. So if your animation hasn't finished playing yet, the damage has already been dealt, and this damage only occurs on this one frame, which is strange. So is there a way later? That is, we sacrifice some performance. To achieve better damage detection, this is certainly possible. We will explain it in the later chapters, and actually, our basic logic has already been explained to you, and before explaining the basic logic, we still need to cover this. Let's work on this damage number again, because this is also part of the damage. Okay, good. That's all for this lesson.